to Comic Book Look, everyone, and it's your weekly comic book show, kind of, sort of, 2015 standard operating procedure, but we talk about anything in the comic book industry. You want it, you got it. My name is Jon, a.k.a. Jon and Ken, so sexy the way I pimp these issues. Comic book Hugh Hef, what? 2015 still got it. Legacy in the game. Respect the cap in the shades. What? Over here to my left, K.E.N. is in the cut. Co-pilot Supreme, Comic Book Romeo, thick stack. Of course, we have awesome special guest, you guys. Sergeant Merica is in the building. No more name changes. He's got his identity on YouTube. He's nailing it with his channel. He's always late to the party, but always packing a punch of justice in his reviews.
Pow.
Goodness. Ow! Comic Book Look issue. I don't even have a clue. We have so many. So stupid the way we do these long white boxes on YouTube. What? How's it going, gentlemen?
Excellent. It's good to be here on this Wednesday, so...
Yeah, it's Comic Book Wednesday, a reverent day in the lives of nerds everywhere, yes.
It is a holy day.
A holy day, yes. We ran into Mike at the Tabernacle, that is our comic book shop, actually, right after work, like all good nerds go.
Yes, yeah.
Did our offering at the register. Totally.
To a very, very thin week, I think, at least for me. So.
It is a bit of a famine, yes. Yeah.
I hit the dollar wall hard, so my
right.
a little
thick stack. Goodness.
Yeah.
Goodness. So, everything going good? We just filmed a bomb show on Mike's channel, so you guys will have to check that out. If you're not watching Late to the Party already with Sergeant Merica, you're a jerk. So get over there, subscribe, and get involved. And get familiar. Midwest.
Yeah. A little bit of something for everybody. It was a couple of usually trade reviews. Every once in a while I'm lucky to be guest and discuss with you guys a topic, and also a toy junkie, so there's that stuff on there too.
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's chop it up, you guys. There's a lot going on. Before we even dive into the topic, there's so much cool stuff going on in the lives of nerds and across all mediums. So first of all, it's a cool time to be a nerd. So Mike's doing some traveling coming up, and on his itinerary, he has a day of shop hopping.
Yeah. I'll be
how awesome is that?
Living at large in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I hope to hit 4 shops that day, get some wonderful stuff that maybe I can't get in my neighborhood, and do a little review so that everybody who happens to visit there for a con or lives near there, maybe they can enjoy the stores also.
Nice. TV shows, movies, web content, it's all blown up. Netflix, streaming services. Where isn't Marvel? Where isn't DC? Goodness.
They're all over the place.
Yeah. It's a great time to be a nerd.
It is good.
Well, let's talk about media then.
All right.
With where these books are appearing. And that's what we wanted to chop up today a little bit. Mike and I, we had some beef, like kind of just real beef, real disagreement here. Gentlemen's talk. I was pro paper, physical comics in my hands, and Mike was this big advocate of digital, which I thought was complete poppycock, right? So we had this disagreement. I don't even remember what issue it was.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a while back.
Yeah.
So the tables might have changed. I don't know. We'll kind of explore that today. But also, we're just kind of checking in to see whereabouts things are at with these. Because it just seems like comic book sales right now, are they good? Are they bad? Where are people veering to? What drives them to buy a certain book? You had a popular rant that I want you to recap on our show because it was such a great point, and your video it got a lot of views just for being awesome. So I hope that you could bring that up.
That would be DC deciding to, piss all over their loyal subjects and not being able to tell...
It was just advertising across the show versus the books.
All right.
Yeah. But basically what you're saying.
I'm trying to remember. I did a couple of them. I did a DC, a Marvel,
they both did weird with it.
Yeah. The biggest one, I think we've seen quite a bit is, this is a nice cover. You can see all your artwork. Maybe there's a little Avengers Now, digital edition, some things like that.
Yeah.
We were getting ones where we'd have entire banners over the whole thing on. And so, you pick up, you're waiting for that wonderful cover. It's Phil Noto, and you're just loving it.
Yeah.
And over the least the bottom third of it, they're letting you know about a TV show.
Yeah.
What TV show? Well, Arrow. Well, it's season 3, and if I, as a fan of comics, don't know that there's this show on, I probably don't care.
Yeah.
And I probably don't want my comic ruined with all this extra advertisement.
Yeah.
It just made me wonder, do they think I don't know about it, or we don't know about it?
Yeah.
But yet when you watch the show, or you now are, 3 series in, or almost any of these shows that I'm getting into, we never hear a beep, a word, a hint that say, hey, this all came from comic books. The Flash, Barry Allen isn't flipping open a comic book, which would be great. Though I do have to recant, and there was, I believe, 2 issues ago, Barry has a book bag that he used to run away with all the time. Mm-hmm. He opens it up, and he has comic books in there, and of course his wonderful sister-ish, mentions to him, oh yes, your nerd supplies. Yeah. So, definitely thankful that the company who we pay for and give them bread and butter decides that they want to make sure that we are labeled as nerds, as little children who only read comics. So there's a reason why independents are growing, and I hope the big 2 suddenly realize this. Yeah. That was one that was in my craw there for a while, and I think I vented so hard it did. Yeah, the little bubble popped out of my head, and so I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, you were dropping F-bombs and stuff.
Yeah, that was probably the most mad I've ever been.
And then you deleted that and posted the censored version.
Yeah, yes.
The one previous to that, just so you know, had like 3 million views.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Mike.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mike brings an interesting point though. Why are we pushing television on our comic books, but why can't we have an ad on TV during the show that says, hey, by the way, there's this bomb-ass line right now called Arrow that has your character in it that you love on the show, but further adventures and probably way more awesome plots in it. So why not check that out too? Get familiar. Check out some of the old books. Like, why not?
It makes more sense to advertise the comics on the TV show, because somebody who's watching TV show may not be
is already
familiar
interested.
But if you read comics and you're familiar with the character, you're going to know when that show, you're going to be following the news, when that show's going to be on. You don't need somebody to remind you about it.
Yeah.
I have talked with other people at my job even, and I've been surprised. One of them mentioned they were a Walking Dead fan. Yeah. And I was like, and they were like, oh yeah, watch the show. And I said, well, you ever thought about the comics? They go, no.
Why are people shying away from that? That's the best comic book line in the world.
I think the biggest problem is we like what we like in our medium that we prefer.
Or encounter first.
Yep. But I mean, I watched all of the Harry Potter movies, Lord of the Rings, but I do not own any Harry Potter books, and I do have, I guess, The Hobbit that I tried to read as a young child, and was very happy when they made movies that made it easier for me.
Sure.
So I did choose it in a format, so I understand that now, but, it's all about choosing your medium. So I will give them that, but I do still think that they need to advertise, at least once every season. Yeah. Hey, you like this? I mean, they even made an Arrow comic, not Green Arrow. Right. They made an Arrow for the TV show comic.
Yeah, season 2.5.
Excellent. And it's for things like that I don't understand. If you love the TV show...
During the downtime, check the series out.
And if that's why they're making it. Yeah. So I would presume... I'm not collecting the Arrow comic. So, not even doing Green Arrow right now after its ugly run. But looking forward to Lemire taking over.
Good. Yep. Well, anyways, we'll get off the political pedestal here, you guys. But let's talk about books. All right, and let's get down to it. So first of all, before we get into it, this display here is really just bothering me. So I just wanted to further our work that we've already started today, and commence with the christening. I already did a bottle, so Ken, as a temp on the show, is going to be assuming one of the bottles, and Mike, as our guest, is going to be doing the other one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Lazarus Pit. Inside are issues 1 and 2 of Thunderbolts that were previously Lazarus pitted, I guess. So we are going to just christen them with some more water. It's not even worthy of beer because we have a beer shortage in the house right now, in the Midwest, as it turns out. So we're just kind of we're being very sparing with our river of beer. So
support your local microbrews.
Yep. And also don't drink this nasty water like I did last time.
Yeah.
It's turned funny colors. I won't recommend it.
Nope.
Yeah.
So I'll just let that marinate for a while. So paper versus digital. I'd say a year ago or so. Mike and I have been friends forever, first of all, so I don't even know when we started being friends. But we chopped this up a year ago. Mike is a diehard advocate of digital. I tried it and got burnt and had a bad experience. So where are you at now? What's the status of your collection? That's the title of the show. Collecting Trends. Man,
Collecting
we totally
Trends.
talked about this on Sunday or whatever. No, when was it? Thursday.
Let's wrap it back.
Sorry. Yeah. It was last week. I don't know. Collecting Trends.
Where I'm at is both digital and print have a place, and I think we assign different values for that reason. There are some things that we need to collect that help us in certain runs, and I think certain formats work better for different things. I originally got into digital because I luckily, like I said, I won an iPad. I found the apps. I found a couple sales, a couple bargains. Boom, I have it. I can get a bunch of deals. Our comic shop is great, but sometimes, they have a limited stock. They have a dollar wall, but, it changes by month. So, we have a couple really nice bins, but, it's the stock is the stock. And if they don't have Avengers number 10, I can't read Avengers number 10. Or how am I ever going to get my fingers on a copy of Avengers 1? Yeah. Digital helps me out with that. I mean, I can get the rarest comics if they've put it into a digital format. Yep. I've enjoyed that aspect of it. As I continue to grow older, I have some conditions that are going to affect my eyes. Digital allows me to view it in different formats, so then I can expand it. I can look at it differently. Right now I have a house, but if I ever were to move, I don't know what I would do with 12 long boxes.
It sucks. Absolutely. We were probably about close to breaking our backs after that day. Yeah. That was rough.
Yeah. But also with that, I mean, I don't know, I don't know, this could crap out. And then do I know all my passwords? Do I know all my information? Yeah. Is it all secured and transferable? There was a couple of the smaller Dark Horse and some of the other ones that closed down their original format and then ported it over to Comixology. Okay. So, how long do all these going to last? So, it's definitely something I thought about. And then, does my purchasing of these comics matter to the company? Yeah. They can make multiple ones. Do they understand does it allow an artist or a writer more money? Does it count towards sales? A lot of that I have questions about.
Sure.
And there are definitely some things that sometimes I find a piece of art that I love so much, I will buy the physical copy. So double dip, triple dip, quadruple dip, whatever we need to do to get the artwork we need. What about you?
I'm in a different position. So you saw the nerd room right now. I got my spinner rack, and it's full of books I haven't even read yet. Phil, this is stuff we got together at the con we went to, 2-3 years ago? And I have my work cut out for me. There's a lot in there. So I don't even know why I'm buying new comics, but my weeks have been a lot lighter, like 2 comics versus 12, as it used to be. And also, I have been going through and just getting rid of books that I don't want. Ken's bought a handsome stack of them already off of me, and I have a half-short box already of stuff that I want out the door yesterday.
And the nice thing about that is I can trust your review. You're like, hey, this is one that I think you would like, and you haven't let me down so far. So a lot better than just going to the shop and saying, hey, that looks cool. I think I'll get that one. So I've been happy.
If someone else can enjoy them, absolutely. For me, I'm actually trying to trim down a little bit, and I haven't even gotten to like the X-Men boxes yet, and that's going to be hard because that's what I started on. So I have some choices to make coming up of what I'll be keeping and what I won't be, but I don't want to have, I don't even know how many boxes I have these days. 11, 12-ish, somewhere in there. I don't want to have that many anymore. I don't need them, and if someone else can enjoy them, awesome. But I just want to stick to the great reads, the stuff that I love and I'm passionate about. Image Comics just isn't it. There's a few series that are awesome, but I've just never really stuck with them like I have with Marvel Comics. Which is funny, I say that because of Black Vortex and everything being rebooted coming up. I don't know how much I'll be sticking with them anyways. So, I don't know. But, we'll see coming up. So, I don't know. I'm mixed on it, dude. I could see myself going digital just to read old stuff on, like, Marvel Unlimited or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's working now. It wasn't when I did that promo. Because everybody else did it, too.
Yeah.
Their support team was so overwhelmed, they never got back to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely think that has been the problem. They've overstepped their boundaries quite a bit. They've relied on third parties to get them through. I mean, the dumbest thing I think they ever did was the 700 free #1 issues.
Oh.
And that put them, I mean, they were weeks behind. I mean, I got on there when the page, and I got like 1, maybe 2 comics, but their servers were so locked up. And we were wondering if they would even read, are they going to honor any of this? And it wasn't until 2 weeks later that all of a sudden I saw another one download, and then they mentioned the page will reopen, and of course then a ton more people go back, and it was just, they did not have the
proper structure.
Yeah, the proper structure, their crap together that they thought they did, and each time it was disappointing. So.
And that's what I told myself after that experience with Marvel Unlimited app was, I will never let a set of credentials tell me when I can and can't read my comics.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if they have stabilized since then, I can see this being a very enjoyable platform, especially when I'm traveling. And quite frankly, I want to read Cable, and I want to read all these 90s Marvel superheroes to connect the dots, check in with other corners of the Marvel U, but I don't want the physical copies, because after I read it, it's in my head. I don't need it.
And I could understand that. There's a lot of them, it's like going to the library, being able to pick out the book you want at the time you want. It is tough. You can't share it.
Can't get it signed.
Can't get it signed. But I think what we're finding then is, like you said, maybe there's 300 comics in a run, but maybe there's only 10 that you ever really want to own.
Yeah.
And those are the ones you would buy physical. You would have them signed. You'd put them up on your wall, whatever you do with comics.
Throw them in a bowl.
But it also allows you that opportunity to, to have that room for something else, Would you rather have a different piece of furniture? Would you rather have something else up on your wall? Original artwork? I think those are the things that we're looking at. So I really think that there is a balance, and that's what we're trying to maintain, is the balance of physical and digital.
I can see it, the benefits to both. I personally have never used digital. I always go for the hard copies, but I'm fairly new to the game, so I'm sure there's going to be storylines that I'm going to get into where they have, like you said, a 300 run, and I'm not going to want to, or first of all, be able to find them or buy them, so it's a lot easier to just get them online.
And it all does come down to, why do you collect? Some people, it's like a hunt, We in the Midwest, we're fortunate to be able to get pheasant and deer and all these wonderful things.
Beer.
But some of us also aren't big on hunting and killing animals. So tracking down, X-Men 35 or, Spider-Man, 300. There are certain ones that, that you want. And it's, it completes that collection. We have some friends that have almost entire runs on marvelous stretches like Avengers and... and some classic ones, or even some independents that aren't on digital. And on those, you probably want the physical copy. There's been a couple of independent people, or when we go to cons, that person who has made the comic themselves, had it printed, stapled it themselves. On a lot of those, you can't get anywhere but a physical copy. And it does make that physical copy, worth a little bit more, in my opinion, to myself.
No, absolutely. I definitely... God, now you make me want to go to SpringCon, now. I love that. No, I mean, seriously, we had so much fun looking at, the off-the-beaten-path booths, Ken and I found some sweet art and originals for, $30, Awesome alert. And then comic books and trades that I've gotten, from creators that I've interviewed on the show. And stuff. It's a cool feeling, and I get excited about some of these indie projects as well.
One of my favorite ones is the one we got at the last con. I don't know if you even read it. It was Busta Rhymes versus H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
How freaking cool is that?
And the guy was super funny, too. He's like, you gotta check this out. And I was like, okay. And it was probably because I was wearing, my flat-billed hat.
Yeah.
And, he's like, you'll love this. And I'm like, all right. But it turns out I did, because I know Buster Rhymes, so I was like, that's cool.
Travels back to 1920s and stops H.P. Lovecraft from releasing Cthulhu.
That was amazing.
What a concept.
Yeah. Great book.
So yeah, I definitely think, like I said, there's a place for everything, and everything in its place. And, we're lucky to have so many options.
Yeah. And we'll roll with that for right now. Where do I fall, you guys? I'm actually getting rid of a lot of physical comics. I'm actually redoing the Nerd Room coming up. I have a carpentry scheme in mind for a couch similar to this with comic book storage underneath, built from hand and glowing in the dark fabric to interact with my black light. So,
all right, that'll be interesting to see.
That could be a project.
Yeah, it'll be amazing.
All
right. Anything else?
I
got a couple I can go over.
Do it.
Haven't read any of them. Well, actually, I read one of them, but I wanted to show these three. Because DC's doing this really cool thing, and I'm a cover whore. I love the unique variant cover. I say that on my show all the time. Right. So I love the variants and the unique ones. And so they're doing this DC movie-themed covers. Like, here we have Superman Action Comics. That's straight out of Bill and Ted. And then Green Lantern Corps has one.
2001, I believe.
Is that 2001? Yeah.
Space Odyssey.
2001 A Space Odyssey on that one.
That's
and then Justice League United, Mars Attacks. Love that one. That's just with the little Supergirl with the little head. I mean, that's just hilarious. And so I've been collecting these. They've been coming out with about 3 a week now. So I'm hopefully going to get the whole series. Even if I'm not reading the story, I still want the cover just for the uniqueness. Eventually, I'll have an entire wall of just DC movie posters on my wall. I'll replace my Lego collection with that.
I was going to say, do you have walls left?
Yeah,
I rotate them.
All right.
Periodically.
Yep.
So I really have enjoyed those. And then I thought this was kind of funny because it goes along. We've actually got Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Return, #1 of a 6-part series. And it's really a kind of cool story. It starts like right after the second movie and continues from there. Pretty much Bill and Ted back to their usual shenanigans.
What publisher's doing that?
It is Boom
right.
Studios.
Boom.
So I really got a kick out of this one, and it's probably what I'm going to keep going with.
All right, so to touch on media in that, we've just seen Big Trouble in Little China come out.
Yep.
Escape from New York, I guess, is coming out.
There's been a couple of those.
Bill and Ted. So what do you think of all these movies in RoboCop?
Yep.
What do you think of all these movies getting comics?
I kind of like it. I kind of like the continuation of the story. As long as they do it right.
Continue the
as long as
adventure.
Keep it canon, go along with keep the original
comics.
feel.
Yeah.
Keep it comic. Keep the original feel. Don't screw it up too much. And it's fun. Shut up, John.
Did you enjoy Big Trouble in Little China then?
I didn't actually pick up any of those. I wanted, because by the time I realized it was out, it was already on the third issue, and I'm like, that's when I want the entire set. So I might just wait and hold off and hopefully get the entire set.
All right.
I was going to say, you can't.
Yeah, I guess I can't leave this one out because this kind of goes over all mediums. We have Howard the Duck #1. And I love it because in the background you got Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, the Hulk, the new female Thor, all flying by in the background. And, this one has a special meaning for me because Howard the Duck was the first Marvel superhero movie, and it did horribly. It bombed.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I loved that movie. I thought it was hilarious. It was a little inappropriate at times for a child, but it was hilarious. I just think the concept of Howard the Duck is such a unique, talking, bad-mouthing Private Eye duck. Yeah. And I think it was really cool the way they worked him into Guardians of the Galaxy. And I even bought the little bobblehead that goes with it. So I've been looking forward to this one. I haven't read it yet, but I'm hoping they actually pull it off. And if they do, I'll keep reading it. That's one of the few. I like it when you can have a little fun. I like his cup that says DC UK instead of. So I just got a kick out of that. There's a lot of fun little things in there. There's a little. I don't know if you noticed. There's a Groot. A little Groot in the background there. So I got a kick out of it. It's really cool. We'll see how it pans out. That's all I got.
Thick stack.
Yeah, it was an interesting week at the shop.
And what show might you review that book?
That would be on Ken's Comic Corner, which is a semi kind of daily. I've taken a couple weeks off, but for the most part, it's been almost a daily thing. You're one to talk.
I know.
Mr. Weekly,
I know.
monthly,
Yeah.
seasonally.
Very part time.
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Well, I definitely want to thank you guys for inviting me over.
No, thanks for coming.
Absolutely. You were definitely on time for the party. Sorry, bro. You weren't late for this one. So anyways, you guys, as always, we appreciate the loyal viewership. You know, you guys are amazing, and we hope to hear more from you. If you have any show ideas at all, things that you want us to talk about, touch upon, let us know. comicbooklook@gmail.com. Hopefully this year, one of my resolutions is to launch a Doctor Who look with Ken.
We'll get there.
But also, I want to get some new gear out because the t-shirts were a hit with that last round that we did. So that was a lot of fun, too. So, anyways, don't be a Thunderbolts #1. Don't be a Sally Sad Sacks. Grab a beer, hang with your boys every week. You got a whole long white box of issues to kick it with, so relax. If you're bored on a holiday, we got those covered, too. At least 3 hours worth of entertainment per holiday. So, get ready for the St. Patty's Day episode coming up. It's going to be bomb. Maybe Mike will join us. Maybe. That's going to get ridiculous. It's going to be awesome. But anyways, I hope you're having an awesome introduction of 2015 in comics. We're in Q1. Just getting ready for Q2. Got a big movie coming up with Avengers Age of Ultron. Excited to hear how it treats everyone. Let us know your thoughts on that right now. You know, what do you think about the trailer, etc. I'm not going to talk your ears off anymore. Hit us up, Twitter, @comicbooklook, @Jon on Demand. And as always, keep it comics for sure, man.
Hail Hydra.